I mean, how many raw vegans have been raw vegan throughout their life? I mean, for an extended period of time.
What would you tell somebody that said to you, it's not necessary to eat raw foods or a good amount of raw foods because there's no history case of raw vegans living any longer than the average person eating the average diet? What would you say to somebody that told you that?
Boy, that's a lot to consider. People make the same argument for that. All of our ancestors ate some animal foods. So really, there's never been a better time in history to be a raw foodist because we have agriculture that can grow things, and we can, we don't want to be too unnatural, but we have transportation that can get local foods to our area that we don't have to walk to. A truck can bring it to your farmer's market, to your health food store, to your local wholesale produce place. So, what our ancestors did was they did the best they could given the circumstances they were faced with at the time. And so sometimes that meant, hey, we got a bunch of tubers here that you can't eat raw. That's our only way to get calories and make it through the winter. Otherwise, we're going to starve. They noticed when they put them on the fire, they were more edible and they could survive that way. That was the right move at that point in time. But there's been a lot of research done in recent years looking at people eating a raw food diet, and you find out that their blood pressure and cholesterol is lower. They have lower risk of cancer, a lower risk of diabetes, and they can reverse the process, and on and on and on. So today we can combine some of the benefits of modern technology like agriculture and transportation and science and research and what clinicians like myself are finding out and reporting, and it makes sense to do it today, and because it's feasible, and a lot of people are getting so much healthier than they used to be and recovering from diseases that their doctors told them were incurable. And who can argue with that? That's great. And they feel better and they have more energy and their mind is clearer, and they're going to live longer, and all sorts of good stuff.
Well, Rick, I'm also a raw vegan, and I'd like to believe everything you're saying to be 100% true, especially the last thing you said with living longer. I've done looking for it. I mean, I haven't found raw vegans living any longer than people that eat other type of healthy diets, whether they include animal products or cooked food. And I'd like to see them there. I haven't seen any raw vegan pretty much that I could think of that lived past 90 years old, and still some of them got disease in their 80s. Me being a raw vegan and recommending a raw vegan to people, what can we use who can we use as an example? Because there's certainly people that could say, if you want to support the supplement industry, you could say, look, Jack LaLanne took a ton of supplements and look, he lived a long time. You could support people eating meat. There's people eating meat will live a long time. Yes, those people are also getting diseases and dying of diseases, but do you personally know any raw vegan that's lived, let's say, past 90 years old, or that didn't get some sort of disease after 85 years old? And I'm not saying do you personally know them. I'm saying, have you heard of any even?
Well, I haven't. And I think part of that is because how many are there? I mean, how many raw vegans have been raw vegan throughout their life? I mean, for an extended period of time. I think it's extremely rare. And when you're looking at a population that's so small, it's hard to find those people. I mean, again, this is really, we're pretty close to the first time in human history, other than when people lived in the tropics, that it's really even feasible to eat an all raw diet. So we're still kind of figuring it out as we go along, but things do look pretty good.
What is the capability you think that a person living in a good environment, eating a raw vegan diet or just a healthy diet, what do you think the capabilities of lifespan that we can achieve with good health could be without, of course, some accident or environmental pollutant?
Well, I mean, there are people out there who are centenarians. At least they've lived a century, at least 100 years old. So it seems like people can make it into their hundreds, and they do. And those people have certain attributes compared to the general population. They tend to eat few calories, So they're not overeating, and that's one of the benefits of a raw food diet. Fruits and vegetables, you got to eat large quantities of them even to get enough calories. So you feel full and satisfied with fewer calories. They tend to have good attitudes, be pretty optimistic. They tend to live with extended family and have really good social support networks. And on and on. It's not just about diet by any means.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.